SBA programs are too complex. It doesn't matter how good the terms are, you'll never get it done.
This is Tony Brevard. I am money.
I want to start a business.
I'm the loan man. Hello everyone, this is Tony Brevard, and I am Money Glue, and I am with the great Bill Habermeyer, with the great logo on for the Business Development Corp. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you're probably the largest CDC in the country?
Largest on the East Coast, for sure. Top 5 over the last decade, for sure.
And so what happens here in this new model from Money Glue TV is we're asking random questions, almost like pulling Joe on the street. I chose Bill for 2 reasons. One, because I highly respect what he does. Number 2 is I think that you are a phenomenal conversationalist. And you say the things that people need to hear. I didn't do 504 until running into your crew, you and Corey Stewart and everybody. That being said, there are plenty of CDCs that do it really well. But I think that your group showed me a very efficient model. And I'm going to delve into that with a few questions I have for you today.
Well, I think that's great and really appreciate you coming over to work with us. And I have to give all the credit to Corey Stewart and his ability to make a complex program seem simple. And I think that's one of the things that our team does a really good job of. 504 it's a little more complex. If we aren't making things simple, then how are you as a lender or broker or whatever capacity you're in, how are you going to make it simple for that customer?
And so my first question for you though, just forgetting that part, what made you become a banker?
I was in grad school and I needed a job. Went to a community bank when I was in grad school in Orlando. What I was learning at the bank aligned with what I was learning in school. I was a finance concentration MBA. Then when I finished school, what I observed when I was working at the bank was specifically in SBA, I had an opportunity to really help people. If you look at other segments of finance, you're crunching numbers, figuring out complex models to make decisions and things like that. But I really like the people aspect of it. I got to work with people. Oftentimes, the people that I was working with didn't have a sophisticated understanding of a balance sheet. So marrying the ability to work with people and then provide solutions to them within the banking environment to help them make more money, that was a win.
And so once you did that, what brought you into the realm of 504 lending?
Great question. So as a young lender right out of school, I needed some differentiator. 504 20 years ago was not as well known as it is today. I observed in the market that I was winning deals by providing better terms than what I could provide in a conventional loan. A lot of my fellow bankers in the market said SBA programs are too complex. It doesn't matter how good the terms are, you'll never get it done. And I really went to school on the 504 and said, these terms you can't beat.
Right.
So if I can figure out how to execute on this and truly differentiate as a younger lender, then I'll start to create a niche for myself. And that's really what happened.
And so once you got involved in 504 and you started making things happen, as you started seeing your client base come to the table, was there anything that you saw repeatedly that would say, man, I wish people knew this up front? What's something that you make sure people know on the front end before they start? Is there anything that stands out?
There's nothing, that really stands out as recurring over and over again. And, our job as a CDC is to educate our bankers and those clients, but 80% of the time the bankers are doing the education for us. It still amazes me that oftentimes we'll go through explaining the program, we'll get a complete package, and we'll find out that they are not going to occupy 51% of the property. So we just
a little something I should have known.
Right. We just put all that effort into getting the financial package, and it's not eligible. Another one that pops up from time to time is a nonprofit. We look at a lot of daycare, preschool type businesses. Many of those are affiliates of churches or other types of nonprofit organizations. Unfortunately, those don't qualify. So you got to be for profit and you got to occupy at least half the space.
Take notes. Make sure you understand that. 2 more questions for you. What is the craziest deal you've done in 504 world?
I don't know if it was the craziest, but I thought it was the most impactful. And it was right before the crash or during the crash in 08.
We're going way back.
We're going way back. I'm old.
Me too.
A company was originally acquired. Majority of the capital stack was via private equity. Private equity had a lot of control. They saw this business as going out of business during the crash. Business owner came to me and said, the private equity group wants out. And what do I need to do? I need to refinance this private equity debt. There wasn't much financing that was available in the market at that time, but we we were able to hook them up with a 7A lender. It was kind of a down-the-middle 7A refinance of debt, and we got that done. Now, mind you, when this was going on, the sky is falling.
The sky's falling, right.
The world is collapsing on this individual's business, and he was rightfully very concerned.
Traumatized.
Yes. And, this, I think, from his perspective, because he had worked with private equity in the past, he really thought that the SBA avenue was a Hail Mary and that this was a last-ditch effort. But there's some great 7A lenders out there, and he got it done, saved the company, saved his business. Fast forward 4 years later, gets through it, executes on everything he told the private equity group he said he was going to do, even though they wanted out. And we helped him build a $10 million manufacturing facility. Maybe not the most complex in terms of closing, but one of the more heartfelt examples of where this can really help someone using both programs. Since then, taken to today's times, they've paid off our loan, they've expanded, they wouldn't qualify for SBA anymore.
You've been great. I really appreciate you. I have one last kind of, not really a trick question, but just kind of make you think a little bit. What is something you wish someone had told you about SBA lending before you got into it?
Good one. SBA lending is a grind. There is a lot to it. For those of you that might be thinking about getting into SBA lending, be prepared. Behind the scenes, there's a lot of additional work that you have to do that you didn't have to do when you were a bank. But if you're thinking about working in SBA lending, you've got to want to work. There is a lot of managing, prospecting new clients, getting deals approved, getting them through SBA, getting them closed, and then, on the 504 side, getting them funded. We interview seasoned bankers all the time. And when we clearly explain what the expectations are, and this is what the workflow is going to look like, a lot of them choose not to join us. With that, you help a lot of people. You are able to differentiate, as we were talking about earlier, a program that adds a lot of value, that is still, I think, relatively under the radar, but it helps a lot of people. So if you can take care of all your business and get those things done, there's a lot of upside in it for you too.
Folks, this is the CEO of this organization, and for him to take the time, you took a lot of time today for me, and I really appreciate you. And you always do whenever I ask you for stuff. So it makes me feel good about our relationship. It makes me feel good about what you think about what we do for the community as well. And we do a lot of this stuff because of folks like you that help us to get it done. He's got several new people on staff here too. They're growing like a weed. So this has been a fun experience as always. And thank you again, Bill Habermeyer, for taking time out of your day to hang out with me on Money Glue TV.
Oh, well, you're the man. Love working with you, and we hope to get some more stuff done. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, good to see you.
All right.